Hello everyone, this is Lori with LM's Crafty Creations coming to you with a creative team tutorial for Country Craft Creations. I am going to be using this beautiful Carta autumn paper, and I'm so excited to share this album with you, and I've kind of going to give you a little sneak peek here. Oops. So the album cover, this album is actually a different album inside, but this is the size and exactly what the cover is going to look like. So I've just layered some of the cut aparts here. I did some fussy cutting. I layered some flowers here and some of the beautiful lace that Tamara provided in my kit. And then, so of course none of this is glued down, so just want to give you an idea, which you've probably already seen, the sneak peek. There's the paper. I bought this paper at Hobby Lobby. It's like a crinkle brown paper, and that's what the back's going to look like with the lace. So that's that. So we'll do our covers in a bit. Let's put that to the side. Oh, don't need this either right now. And let's get started. So I'm going to do our let's see, our covers first. I always start with the covers if I can and the binding system. So you are going to need 2 pieces of chipboard cut at 5.5 by 7.5, and then your spine is going to be cut at 2.25 by 5.5. And just like I did before in my previous tutorial, I will have all of the measurements excuse me, down below in the comments so that you don't have to write all this down as I'm talking. It'll be all right there for you. You can just print it off. So I have covered this, the cover and the spine, with my sheets of score tape. I love this stuff. This stuff is awesome. If you can see, I've used a lot of it because I'm tired of doing all of the little strips like we have to do all the time because I don't buy the sheets, and I'm going to start buying the sheets because it's so much easier. So to cover our chipboard, we are going to take 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I'm just going to put a strip of score tape down here to join these 2 together. Where's my little, there it is, almost lost it. Score tape terror is what I call it, but it's actually a perfect trim ruler. So I'm just going to burnish this a little bit, and I forgot my craft knife. I always forget something. Sorry about that. I'm going to take this off and just join these 2 together as straight as we can get it. There we go. And we're just going to burnish. Now what I'm going to do, and did I forget my ruler too? Of course I did. Okay, just a second. Alright, I think I finally got everything now. I'm going to take my Tim Holtz ruler. I think it's exactly about 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to put it on the edge here and draw a line. And I'm going to do the same down here all the way at the bottom, just to give me a guide as to where I'm going to put my chipboard. I'm going to do it all the way across on the bottom. This way I get it as straight as possible because I'm not all that great at getting things straight. So there is our cover wrap. And I'm going to take the score tape off of my cover piece. And stick it down right there where that score line meets. Trying to line it up right on those lines as straight as possible and stick it down. And I'm going to do the same with the spine piece. Oh, you know what I forgot? I always put a piece of 1/4 inch tape right here to give me a little spacing between my chipboard. Going to take the tape off my spine now. Stick it down. Again, lining it up with that bottom line and sticking it down right up against my 1/4 inch tape. I'm going to do the 1/4 inch tape on the other side again. I'm going to take my other chipboard piece, take the tape backing off, and I'm going to stick it down, lining it up as much as possible with that tape and that line. And there we go. Sorry, I seem to have a frog in my throat. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 1/2 inch score tape, and I'm just going to go right to the edge of the chipboard at the edge of the cardstock, and I'm going to run it all along here. I'm going to fill in this gap with my 3/8 inch score tape since I have it, but if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Just use whatever you have. And some people even use glue for this. I just prefer score tape, so it's just a matter of personal preference. I'm going to flip this around and do all sides right up against the chipboard, as close to that line as possible. On the other side. My little trimmer's in the way. I can't seem to get this whole thing in the frame. So it's pretty long. This is the first time I've done like a landscape orientation mini, and I just love how it turned out. I did a prototype when I was working on the design of this, just to make sure, you know, that I had enough paper and everything to decorate all of my design. And it turned out beautifully, and I'll show you that. I'll have another video showing that one as well. I keep losing my ruler. This album, it makes it really easy to wrap it because I just use the two 8.5 by 11 pieces together, and you don't have to trim them at all, except for in a minute when we're going to miter our corners. So I'm just going to take and just burnish my tape as much as I can. So my camera is sitting on my table, so I apologize if we're getting a little shaking here as I'm working. I don't have the best camera setup. I have to set it up and take it down every time I want to film, so it's somewhat of a pain. Here we go. Alright, so now I'm going to miter the corners before I remove our tape backing. I'm just going to take and just cut right across there. I don't measure anything. I just take and cut it about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And now I'm going to do this side first. So I'm just going to start folding my paper, getting it used to folding over, creasing it a little bit. And notice that the slower I go at this point, the less chance I have of it cracking. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and remove my score tape from these little gussets here. And I'm going to remove the tape from this side. I'm going to go ahead and slowly bend this over and stick it down. And I'm going to burnish. And make sure that you get into those creases. Help it to start to crease a little bit right there where your book's going to fold. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Again, I'm going to get the paper used to folding. I'm going to take my tape off. The tape backing. This is really the spine. The cover is really the only place that I've used score tape in the album. Even to put my pages together, I use the art glitter glue, and I found that it works great. And I'm really happy about that because art glitter glue is a lot cheaper than buying score tape all the time. Just going to burnish this again, get in there with those creases. Don't do it too rough or you will tear your paper. Just enough to get it to start bending. Now I'm going to do the ends here. And make sure you get your corners tucked in right there so you don't have really sharp corner edges like I do sometimes because I forget to do that. I'm going to remove my tape backing. And I'm going to stick it down and burnish. And last side. I don't know why, but this is always my least favorite part of creating the album, is doing the cover. I guess because I like doing all the fun decorating. Aren't we all like that? Decorating is the fun part, making the pages. Here we go. Last piece. Now, just going to slowly bring this in. And now we have our cover. You're not going to see this seam once we cover it all up. Beautiful. Now, let's put that to the side and work on our binding. For your binding, I've already kind of got mine started. You're going to need one piece at 5 inches by 11 inches. And I did put the scoring guidelines in the comments below. So take a look there. I'm not going to list them all off in this video. I did do 1/2 inch hinges and 3/8 of an inch gussets. So what we're going to do here is at the crease of the first two, in the middle of the first two 1/2 inch hinges, we're just going to fold it over. Remove this tape backing. And stick it down. Now I'm going to do it again. I put my tape in every other 1/2 inch place. So I'm going to fold it over and crease it in the middle of those two 1/2 inch hinges. I'm going to remove my tape backing and just stick the two hinges down together. Then I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to crease. And we're just going to continue like that. I'm going to fold it first, make that crease, remove my tape backing, and then stick it down and burnish. I'm going to flip this back over and I'm going to burnish. Now, again, there's the two 1/2 inch hinges. One of them has tape. I'm going to fold it over right in the middle. Open it back up, remove the tape backing, then I'm just going to stick it down, fold in that same crease that I just made. Fold it back over, crease it again, do the same thing again. In the middle of the two 1/2 inch hinges, remove the tape backing, and stick it down again. Fold in the middle, burnish, remove the tape backing, stick it down, fold it back, and now we have our hinges. I'm just going to fold it back on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my tape to these. I am going to use 1/4 inch tape. And I'm going to apply it, at the very end of each hinge on both sides. This is where we're going to put our pages. Some people do use glue for this. I just prefer score tape because glue is so messy sometimes. Now, I haven't tried it with the art glitter glue. Should probably do that one day. See how that works out. Last hinge, 1/4 inch tape. Now, I'm going to burnish here. And I'm going to flip it over. And if I have another sheet of this score tape, I'm going to use it. And I do. Yay. So I'm just going to remove this off of here. And instead of putting tape all the way around here, I'm just going to go ahead and use this sheet. Try to line this up on the side so it's less I have to trim. That's not an easy thing to do, as it turns out. Here we go. I'm just going to take my scissors and trim off these sides. And I don't waste any of this tape, I just stick it back down on, oops, well, I could waste that, on the sheet here. Just save it for later. My scissors keep getting stuck to it. There we go. Just got a little overhang on this side. There we go. So now I'm going to burnish that a little bit. Put this to the side. Make sure it gets good and stuck. Now I am going to go ahead and add this to my cover. So I just like to kind of fan out my hinges first and just kind of get an idea, center it where it's going to go before I take the tape off and stick it down. Move the tape backing, making sure I don't have any tape overhanging, since I did cover the entire piece. I'm just going to line it up here, right in the middle, some space on the top and the bottom, and I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to burnish. And really make sure it gets in that crease right there. Make sure you burnish in between all of your gussets. Again, getting in between the crease. And we're good. Now, just going to fold this. And our cover is done. Okay, set that to the side. Now we're going to start on page 1. So I will tell you, in order to make the video as short as possible, I have cut all the mats for my pages. So I am going to mat at the same time as I construct the pages. So here is, this is a photo mat, so I'll set that aside. I've got to remember what I've done here. Okay, so for the base pages, that's probably what we should do first, right? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. For the base pages, you're going to start out with 6 pieces at 10.5 by 7 inches. You're going to score on the 10.5 inch side at, put it this way, 1/2 inch, and again at 1/2 inch and 5 inches. Or did I do it the opposite way? Yeah, I did. Okay. This is in the cutting guide down below. Score at 5 and then at 10. So you're going to fold on that score line at 5 inches. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue here. It's got a messy tip. And on this 1/2 inch hinge here, I'm going to put my glue. And I like to do a little swirly pattern. And I like to use a lot of glue. And I'm just going to stick this straight down to make our base page. So that way you only have to do this, you only have to cut one piece instead of cutting two and putting them together. Line it up straight as possible, as quickly as possible if you're using art glitter glue, because it does dry fast. I'm just going to burnish that, and this is going to be our base page right here. And these pages are going to be, I think they're 5 by 7. Yes, 5 by 7 base pages. We are going to have, on the front of each page, we're going to have a flap that flips up. So let me grab that. There it is. This needs to be cut at 5.5 inches by 7 inches, and you're going to score on the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch to create our little hinge. And this is what we're going to put the glue on, and we're going to attach it right at the top here. So here's our glue. I'm kind of making a mess of it. That's okay, because it dries clear and it's not sticky. And I'm going to stick it right up here at the top. And I only flipped it around because the other part of the page was where I'm just trying to give it less bulk. So it's where we attach the base page together. So I'm just trying to eliminate as much bulk as possible by attaching this to the opposite end, but you don't have to. It doesn't really matter. You can do it on both sides. Either side is what I should say. So these are our base pages. It's going to have a flip here and then a pocket here. And then we're going to attach different things on the inside and on the back. So for page 1, we are going to open this up and we're going to do corner pockets here. So I cut a piece at 5 inches by 5 inches, and you're going to score on all 4 sides. And then what you're going to want to do is, you could do this on your trimmer, but since I don't want to get my trimmer out right now, I have limited space, I'm just going to draw a line diagonally here. So it's going to go, can you see that line from corner to corner? And that's where I'm going to cut. Now you could of course put this in your trimmer and just cut, and this is going to make our 2 pockets. Now I have already scored all of my pieces, so you're not going to see me score in the video. There we go. So now what we're going to do is, since this is a pocket, you can't really see my score lines because it's black paper, but we're going to miter our corner of the pocket, and then we're going to fold on the score lines. And you're going to get a little overhang here. See our little wings? We're going to trim those off. Trim this here and trim it on the other side. And there's our pocket, and it's going to be stuck right down here. We're going to do the same thing to this one. We're going to miter the corner, fold on our score lines, And then we're going to trim off our little wings. There we go. Now, I am going to use the art glitter glue to put these down, and I've noticed when I use the glue, if I just burnish right here, where my little hinges are, it makes them lay flatter and it makes it easier to apply the glue. So what I'm going to do is for each pocket, they're going to be like this. I'm going to put glue on this side first and stick it down, just this side on each pocket. And I'll show you why in just a second. So put your glue on, line it up in the corner, and stick it down. And I just like to burnish it just a little bit. Same on the other side. I'm going to put it on this corner. And I'm going to stick it down here. So you can see that they are overlapping right here, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open my flaps this way now. I'm going to put glue on my other hinge on each side. Glue there, glue here. And then I'm going to bring these two sides together, and I'm going to put this flap inside where this hinge is and bring it down. See how it fits inside there? And then I'm going to glue it down. Hope you can see that on camera. You can trim these, but I kind of like the way it looked overhanging, so I just left it that way. But of course, if you don't, just make the book your own and do it however you like. So there is my corner pockets. So I did already cut my mats for this page. So the front of it is going to be this cute pumpkin. So throughout the album I did use some cardstock. This is Michael's Recollections cardstock, and here I just layered a cut apart on top. And with all of my mats, I inked around the edges with Tim Holtz Vintage Photo right here. It's a little messy on the top. This is what I used. I'm just going to glue this to the top flap here. I like lots of glue, as you can see. I'm just going to stick this down. Now for all of my mats, I cut them at 1/4 of an inch less than the page. So these are all 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. I like that nice black border around there. So there's that page. We're going to open it up, and on this page I'm going to do this here and this on the inside of the pocket. And I cut them all at the same, the 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So those are going to go there. Yeah. It's the only bad thing about cutting all of this ahead of time and not gluing it down. You can't remember where everything goes. Okay, now I'm going to do the other mat. You could absolutely use your ATG gun here if you prefer. Like I said, it seems like this glue kind of makes it a little more sturdy as well. Let's slide this in. Hopefully get it all the way down before it dries. Get it even. You don't have much time with this glue to move it around because it sets quickly. Okay, now to mat these corner pockets, all I did was I cut a square at, I put it in the cutting guide, let's see, I believe it's, yes, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I just cut it in half diagonally. And then you see it fits perfectly on these pockets. And I am going to go ahead and overlap them just like I did the pockets, lining them up. It's going to look like that. I love that this glue doesn't leave any spots anywhere, even though I'm kind of messy with it sometimes. It doesn't mess up my pages like other glues do. There we go. And like I said, I just lined up the edges, the bottom of the mats right there. The pattern paper or cardstock, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean. Okay, I have already cut and matted a photo mat for this pocket. And in your cutting guide, I did put that you'll need to cut 9 photo mats at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And this is one of them. And I'm just going to stick this right in here. So there is the front of our first page. All done. Okay, so turn it over. On the other side, we are going to do a double belly band. So you're going to need to cut, or actually it's a belly band with a pocket. So you're going to cut one piece to 8 inches by 2.5 inches. You're going to score on the 8-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And then you're going to cut another piece to 8 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And you're going to score on the 8-inch side again at 1/2 inch on each end. And this is going to be a pocket, so you're going to score at 1/2 inch on the 2 1/4 inch side as well. So we're going to put the belly band down first. So you see I've already folded on my flaps there. I'm going to put my glue on each flap. And I'm just going to try to get this as close to the middle as possible. I'm not really going to measure. I'm just going to stick it down. Not quite in the middle, but it really doesn't matter. Just make sure that glue takes hold there. And then we're going to add the pocket. So we're going to miter the corners like we always do. And it looks like I messed up my score lines there, so I'm not really sure. Oh, there we go. So again, I'm going to fold. This one's going to go right on top of the belly band at the bottom edge. And put my glue on all of the flaps. I'm going to do my little swirly doos. And I'm going to stick it down. There we go. Now, so this side is going to be the inside of this. We're going to stick it down like that. I'm a little nervous about, well, I think it'll be okay. We'll see. We'll see how this is going to work out. If I can get it in there before it completely glues down to the page. So, I'm going to take this. Just going to lift this up a bit so I can get it in there easier. Oh yeah, no problem. And stick it down. Was worried that it was going to glue down to the page before I got it in there, but it's just fine. No worries. So now I'm going to mat inside this little pocket here. And let's see, I think I did, yes. I'm doing the brown on the inside of the pocket. And I'm going to do the cute leaves right there. And I didn't create any mats to put in this one yet. I might just leave it open so you can stick whatever you want. Mat some stickers from the collection or something and stick it inside this little pocket. Or just leave it to stick a photo in there. I just like to go around the corners, the edges, and spread that glue around. So there's our first page. We have our flap with our double pocket there. Turn it over and we have our belly band with a pocket here. And this would be cute to do. And we could also put a stopper down here, which I'll probably do so it doesn't fall out. But I matted this tag, the gratitude list, because it is like portrait style and this is a landscape style album. I didn't have anywhere else to put it and I thought it was so cute and I wanted to use it. On the other side I put this fall crafting cut apart, and you could just stick that one right down inside there. And then I'll probably use one of the stickers from the collection right here as just a stopper to keep that inside. So that's really cute. I'm going to leave that there. So there's page 1. On to page 2. Now I've already put all of my base pages together and attached the flaps on there. So you won't have to see me do that on camera over and over again to cut down on as much time as possible. So I'm going to do that. On this one, on the front page, okay, I gotta remember what I'm doing again. So on this one, what's going to happen is when you open up this flap, you're going to have another flap here that opens down this way as well. So you're going to have like a trifold. So you're going to cut this piece, the additional flap, at 5 1/4 by 7 inches. You're going to score on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. So there's my 1/2 inch. I'm going to take my glue. And I'm just going to attach this right here at the bottom. Nice and even all the way at the edge. So this flap is going to be just a little bit shorter than the other flaps. There we go. So we can go ahead, this is for the back of the page, so I'll set that aside. We can go ahead and mat these. So I took and cut this apart. I love this farm scene. It says pumpkin patch here, and then you can see the pumpkin patch. So cute. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down there. So pretty. Now we're going to open this up, and on, let's see, on the additional flap we just added, I'm going to go ahead and add this to the front. I have our little girl riding her bike and the little scene. That was cute. This paper has so many bold patterns in it. I tried to kind of break them up so it didn't get too busy looking. But it is very pretty. Hope y'all like what the end result comes out as, because I think it's going to be a beautiful album, beautiful fall album. This is as close as I get to fall, is fall paper, because I live in Texas and we don't have a fall. We have summer and winter, and that's it. No fall and hardly any spring. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to open this up, and for this side I chose this paper, and we're just going to mat. Now, one of these is shorter. Let's get the right ones. So remember when you're cutting this that this flap is shorter than these two. So I made the mistake a couple of times of cutting wrong when I did this, and I was very mad because it's a waste of paper. Get that lined up. Matting goes by so much faster when you already have this figured out. Which, let me tell you, it wasn't super easy to figure out the matting when all the pages aren't together yet. Okay, now we're going to do the last one, and then we'll be on to the back of page 2. Okay, so pretty. There's our flaps. I love that 3-page spread there. Okay, on the back of page 2, let's see, this goes here. Oh, and I'm going to have a little booklet that flaps here. So I'm going to use some seam binding too to hold my booklet closed. So here are my mats. You're going to cut 2 pages for our little booklet. Let's see, 1 page at 4 inch by 5 inch, and you're going to score on the 4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then cut another piece by 4.5 by 5 and score on the 4.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And I do have my score line there. You just can't see it. So now I'm going to take the smaller piece and I'm going to attach it. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Right up against, let me fold that so you can see that flap. I'm going to attach it right up against that score line because this hinge is going to go inside of here so it flaps. So I'm going to attach, put my glue right here. The little tip is getting glue all over it. I'm going to attach it right up against the score line but not over it. So this is going to kind of be like an undercut page, I guess, if you want to call it that. So now I'm going to put glue on this flap, and I think I'm going to miter my corners of this flap right here so it goes in easier. So, which reminds me I forgot to do that on my binding system before I attached it to the book. I knew I was going to forget that. So that's going to go in here, and it's just going to flap this way and open this way. And then go ahead and put our glue here. I'm letting my glue get clogged because I'm not putting the pin in it. I'm going to open this up and stick it in, but make sure you don't go over that score line again. Go right up to the score line and stick that down. So now while that dries a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and glue this mat down. Oops. There we go. Now I am going to put a little seam binding closure on this booklet on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put the inside mats on first, and I just did the red cardstock. Sorry, I had to cough. Hope you guys didn't hear that. Okay, here's the other part. Now, let's see. I'm going to put this on this side, then this on this side. So, let's see. What color do we want to use? Probably, let's do cream because I think it stands out. Or do you want to do green? No, I'm going to do cream. So all I'm going to do here is I am going to use my score tape. And I'm just going to put just a little bit. I'm going to kind of do it in the middle here. I could use my art glitter glue for this, but I just like to use score tape for some reason. I'm just going to stick this down. I'm going to cut a length off of it. I'm just going to guess here. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to match it on the other side. Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to cough on camera. I don't know why I've got a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. I've been fine all morning until now. It's just because I'm on camera. Take that off. And I'm going to stick that down. There we go. As easy as that. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it down. Right over that seam binding. And now I'm going to do the other side. This is the first bottle of glue that I bought. It's getting a little low. Here we go. So I'm not going to do all the embellishing of the book on the camera because I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible, but of course probably by now you're watching this, you've already seen it. I am going to do a final walkthrough. So this will have something in the middle there. Just going to tie this, give my strings a little cut. And that's good enough for now. Probably cut that a little bit more. But there we go. There's our second page. The flaps. Turn it over. And our booklet. So let's go on to page 3. So this page has a flap. Okay, I didn't glue this down. This is going to go on the very front page, and this, I use this red cardstock as well throughout the album. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down there. I like to use the cut-aparts on the front flaps when I can. Kind of gives it a focal point. You can use some letter stickers and put a name or a date there. It'd be really cute. So I'm going to go ahead I'm going to attach this to the top here. This is going to be our top flap. Okay, and on the inside, I already have this paper cut. This is going to go here, and this goes here. And then we're going to have another flap here that flips up that way. So let's do that one. So I'm not going to put those mats down yet. I'm going to put this together first. And these. As soon as I figure out what all I need first. This is a photo mat. So the first thing you're going to need, page 3. You're going to need to cut one piece at 4 7/8 by 5 1/2. You're going to score on the 5 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a pocket on here and then another pocket here. And this whole thing is going to flip up this way. So your bottom pocket, which is the larger one, is going to be 5 1/2 by 5 7/8. You're going to score on the 5 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch and the 5 7/8 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end to make your pocket. And I already used my envelope punch board and I punched a little notch in there. I didn't measure it exactly, I just looked like, hey, that looks like the middle, and I punched. You could also use just your circle punch to do a notch, or you could leave the notch out entirely. So, and then the bottom pocket, this one is gonna be, or technically it's the top pocket, 3 1/2 inches by 5 7/8. Score on the 3 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5 7/8 inch side at each end to make your pocket. And then I did the notch on this one as well. So now what we're going to do, there is a flap here, so I'm going to go ahead and fold on that flap so as not to confuse you. So that flap's tucked under. That's what we're going to use to attach to our page. So I've already mitered my corners here, and I'm going to fold on all the score lines to make my pocket. And like I said, I like to fold on them all and burnish them real well, and then put my glue on. Just easier to apply the glue and to attach it to the page when the flaps are flat. So now I'm going to attach it to this flap. And it should line up just perfectly on this flap on all 3 sides. And then we're going to attach our other pocket at the very bottom edge. So now we have a double pocket. So we're going to apply our glue. And stick it down to the very bottom edge. And again, that flap that we're going to use to attach this to the page is folded under at the bottom. So there's our double pocket. We have a pocket here and then a pocket here, and this assembly is going to attach. So you flip up this page, let me move these mats out of the way, and we're going to attach it on this side right here. So here's our flap, and I'm just going to attach it directly right here. You're going to attach it all the way in the bottom corner here so that it stays away from this score line at the top, so this can fold down. So I hope I'm explaining that correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on this flap. And I'm going to attach it, lining it up at the bottom and sticking it down. So this is going to open up this way. There we go. So now that we have our double pockets added, we can put our photo mat, I keep calling them photo mats, our pattern paper on. This ad paper was so cute. I hated to cut it apart because it had some really cute stuff on the edge too, but I used that somewhere else, so you'll see that too. So I know I'm out of frame, but I'm just adding glue to this piece, and I'm going to stick it down here. And when I could, I did try to cut my pattern paper so the designs matched up on both sides. So I am going to put this piece, isn't that supposed to go there? I guess not. Where's the mat for that piece? Did I not cut it? That's what this was for. Maybe I didn't cut it. Okay, well I'm going to have to cut a mat for that piece. So let's mat the pockets instead. So what I did for the pockets, to get my notches to line up correctly, let me stick this in here so you can see clearly. I know it's black so you can't see very well. So you see how my notches are lining up with my pattern paper? To do that, what I did is I cut my pattern paper to size, and then I just stuck this inside the pocket about where it would fit. And you can see all I did was do a pencil mark right here of where the notch was, and took it out and then just stuck that in my envelope punch board, lining it up as much as possible, and then I just punched it, and that's it. So it doesn't get it exactly perfect, but it gets it as close as I'm going to get it. I call this the wallpaper. This print, it just looks like a wallpaper print. It's cute with the squirrels and the acorns. Stick that in here. And there's our pockets. And let's see. I think I'm just going to mat that later. So I did cut 2 photo mats. So this one to go inside these pockets. So what am I on? Page 3, the front page. The first photo mat is, this one's 4.5 by 4.5. It's going to go in this pocket, so I am going to go ahead and just mat that. And again, this is just the brown Recollections cardstock. I think Tamara used the, in her video with this collection, she used the matching Authentique Spectrum paper, which was really cute. So if you have that, you can use that as well. I couldn't find the right orange to go with this paper. All I had was really bright orange, and it didn't go, so I chose brown and red instead as my fillers. So there is one photo mat, and here is the other one. And I'll just mat the other side of that little flap off camera when I'm embellishing, since I forgot to cut it. I knew I was going to forget to cut something when I was doing this. So there's our mats. Make sure that goes in there all the way. There we go. So now you have your flip page with your 2 tags. And this folds down this way. And mine is a bit bulky, but it will lay down over time, so I'm just going to take my little tool there and crease it a little bit. I didn't put magnets on this page. I didn't think it needed it, so we'll see. So on the back page of page 3, all I'm going to do is a simple pocket for this page. So we're going to cut this piece at 3.5 by 8 inches, and you're going to score it on a 3.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 8 inch side at 1/2 inch at both ends, and you're going to miter your corners on each side. I'm going to stick this down. Right at the bottom, lining it up on all of the edges. Oops, got mine a little crooked there. There we go. Okay, so I did already do my photo mat for this one. So this is included in the 9 photo mats you're going to need. And what did I do here? This is going to go down here to mat the pocket. And then the cute sunflowers are going to go inside the pocket. And there you go. There is our page 3, and this photo mat just sticks right inside there. And I'm sure we'll do something cute right there. So on to page 4. So I'll show you all that in a minute. This is the back of page 4, I think. Where's the front of page 4? Okay. Set that aside. These are just photo mats. So on the front of page 4, we will have, okay, that's the front mat. So we're going to have this front mat on the very front of the page. So all I did here is I just took this cut apart. I mounted it on a little bit of the red cardstock that I have. Can you see the red? And then again on the pattern paper. So I'm going to glue this down to the very top mat, very top of the page. Oops. Right here. So on the inside, when we open this flap up, we're going to have this flap here, and it's going to have 2 tag pockets on it, and this one's going to flip down. So this mat is 7 inches by 4.5 inches, and you're going to score on the 4.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. So let's see. Then we're going to cut 2 pockets, and they are going to be cut at each one, cut 2 at 4.5 by 4.5, and then you're going to score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. And then I did my, if you can see that, my envelope punch board again on these pockets. And again, I just lined it up in the middle as close as I could get it and then just punched it. So no special thing there. I'm going to go ahead and attach this first flap first. First flap first. Maybe easier to see, not sure. I originally was going to use craft cardstock to make this, which would have been a lot easier for you to see on camera. But I changed my mind because I thought that the black would really bring out the bold colors. And I think it's looking pretty nice so far. Okay, so there is our flap that we're going to attach our tag pockets to. So these are going to fold on all of our score lines and burnish. So you have this. On the other side, there's our flaps. And these are going to line up exactly on the bottom and the top of this flap. So can you see that? It's going to line up just perfectly. And you'll have one on each side. So let me see. Going to add our glue. I'm going to line it up at the very edge and the very bottom and stick it down. And then our other pocket should line up right next to this one just perfectly. So we're going to fold on all of our edges for the other pocket, and I'm going to burnish those as well. So we have this. I'm going to add my glue. And they do fit just perfectly. So you'll be able to see this better in a second when I mat these. So I'm just going to mat the front. I've already cut my mats. Let me make sure which goes with which since because once you cut them and you line them up, okay, it's flipped. Okay. You got to make sure you keep the right notch with the right pocket since I cut them out to match exactly a specific one. So here we go. I love this orange paper. It's so pretty. Now, before I stick my little photo mats in, I'm going to mat the rest. So I'm going to mat this with this cute ABC cross stitch paper. And then this is going to go at the bottom. I'm telling you, I still have that frog in my throat. It just won't go away. And as soon as I turn off the camera, I'll be fine. Alrighty, I'm going to attach this at the bottom here. It looks like it's lining up. Plaid was cute too. I love these cross stitch letters. And I'm going to flip that up so that way you can see those pockets now. And I do have, I've already cut these photo mats, and let's see, I did put them in the cutting guide. They are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So the 3 by 4 cut aparts fit perfectly on these mats, and they fit right inside these pockets. I love this one because it shows the Gordon's Pumpkin Farm. It's cute. There we go. So now we have to put our last mat, and then we can move on to the back of this page. We almost have 4 pages done. 4 out of 6 in an hour and a half. Not too bad. I didn't want to do a 4-hour video for you guys because I know sometimes it gets long. And if you're not using this paper, then you get tired of seeing the matting. So I tried to make all the matting decisions ahead of time. So there's the front of our 4th page. It flips up, then we have the 2 tag pockets, and it flips down. So cute. And I didn't mat the back of my tags, but I'm going to. So now we're going to flip that one over. Okay, for this one. Uh-oh, I lost part of my matting. Hold on the floor. There we go. So I did this little design. Let me show you what it's going to be first. So the first thing you're going to need for the back of page 4 is the base is going to be 5.5 inches by 5 inches. You're going to score in the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Now you're just going to fold this flap over. I'm going to burnish it. And we can go ahead and attach this. We're going to attach to the very top of this page, right there in the middle. So I'm going to apply my glue to my little hinge here. And I'm going to line this up. You know, in the middle as much as possible, and stick it down. So it's going to flip up this way, and we're going to add some pockets to it because I love pockets. So there's that. So we're done with this base page, so I'm going to go ahead and add my bottom mat to this base page here so you can see better. What I'm doing. Look at those leaves, so bright and colorful. I wish I could feel this paper. This paper is very thick. It's not thin at all. It's very sturdy. And I'm going to go ahead and mat the top of this since I have it here. I'm telling you, with all this glue, this thing is not going to go anywhere for quite some time. If ever. Alright, so there is our flap. So now, here we're going to do a pocket. So what I've done here is I cut one piece at 6.5 inches by 6 inches. I scored on the 6.5 inch side, this way, at 2 inches. And then I scored on the 6 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. So what we're going to do, this is going to make a pocket that folds up this way. So I did it on this little craft cardstock so you could see easier. So we're going to cut right here, like miter both of these corners to create our flaps. So if you cut here and you cut here, we're just going to cut that out and remove that on each side, which I've already done it. Have I done it? No, I didn't do it yet on my black. So then these flaps are going to fold in on each side, and this is going to come up and glue to create our first pocket, and then these flaps right here on this side are going to fold back, and they are going to create our pocket that attaches here. So it's going to look like this. So you have a pocket here and a pocket here. So let's do that with our black cardstock. I'm going to cut right here, make my little triangle on each side, separating those notches, those hinges, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to fold on the score line in. So, and I'm going to burnish. And I'm going to go ahead and add glue to that and glue it down. There we go. I'm going to stick this down here. Now, we're going to fold on the other hinges. We're going to fold those back as well. And then we're going to put glue here and attach this down. Now you are going to have to put a little bit of glue here to get it to attach to the bottom of this page. And I did go ahead and do my notch there. So I'm going to put the glue on the hinge. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there at the edge to glue that pocket down. And I'm going to stick that down here. I'm going to line it up perfectly at the bottom of that flap. Press it down. Now, if you wanted to, of course, you could just make, your two pockets, one layer and one layer here like we did before, if you find that's easier and you don't want to put the glue down there. Just whatever you like. So, now I'm going to go ahead and mat this bottom pocket. Now, I didn't put a notch in the bottom pocket because I didn't think it needed it. So, I'm just going to add my glue, put this down here. And I'm going to add this one right here, line it up with my little notch. And I did mat this, this was a 4x4 cut apart. I matted it on some brown cardstock and then the black to make a photo mat here. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the page so you can see that little notch there. It's easier to line this up. So, stick this in here. Line it up with my little notch and stick it down. And I didn't mat on this side of the pocket, but I'm thinking that I might put something there. I have a lot of little strips left, so I'll do that when I am embellishing. So there's my little tree mat. I've got glue stuck to me. So that flips up that way. So there is page 4. Now page 5. Let's see. This is going to go on the front of page 5. So let's go ahead and glue that mat down. Okay. Now let's see, for page 5, what do I have going here? This is another flap, is what this is. So, it's not the right one. Yeah. So So these are the mats for here. And then we're going to have, just like the other page we had done, it's going to be another tri-fold flap here. Let me get rid of this at the bottom. So this, you're going to cut it 5 1/4 by 7 inches, just like we did before, and you're going to score it at on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. So we're going to add our glue. Let me see. Sorry, I keep adding my glue off camera. We're just going to stick that down right there. Going to burnish it really well, make sure it's all lined up on all the sides. I'm going to open it up, burnish it some more. Now, let's see, I'm going to do, no, I think I'm doing this side. Yes. So this goes here, this goes here, and this goes here. And then this is going to go on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this one down first. And again, this flap is just slightly shorter than this flap, so make sure when you're cutting your pattern paper that you remember that. Because I know I get on a roll. When I'm cutting the mat for this flap and this flap, I want to do this one the same, but it's not. I do think that when you ink around the edges of these, it just makes it look so much better, especially since this is really thick paper. This white edge really shows. And I like to ink a little more. Can you see? I like to ink a little more than some people do. Mine actually goes over. Some people just do the edge and that's it. Sometimes I do a little bit more because I like my inking to show. I'm going to spend all that hard work doing it. I want someone to see it. Make sure I get the right side. My words all lined up here. Oop, I'm too close to the top. Here we go. So I'm going to flip that up and do this last one. Then the front of this page is done. And I don't remember what I did. Oh, I think we're doing a gatefold on the back of this page. Alrighty, so there is the front. I'm sure we'll do, you know what I thought would look really cute here? Where's my stickers? Haven't used any stickers in this album yet. Is to put this little boy and the little girl, maybe the tree, kind of right here. So I might do that. Okay, on the back, like I said, we are going to do a little gatefold flap, and let's see, these are my mats for the back of it and the front. So we're going to cut these at 2 pieces at 4.5 by 5 inches, and you're going to score on the 4.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and fold each of these. This is a pretty simple page, but it's going to look really cute. And I'm going to add my glue right here. I should just get my other bottle of glue instead of having to shake this one constantly. And I'm just going to line it up at the very edge of the left side. And then we're going to add our other flap on this side. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the matting on the inside, because on the outside I'm going to do a closure with my seam binding again. So these are all matted the same. I'm going to do this one on this side. And here's our last one. I need a little bit more glue in this one little corner here. Just didn't get the tip of that glued down enough. There we go. Now, for this side, I cut this little seam, and it goes the other way. Right here, so you can see the little girl riding her bike. And we're going to do some seam binding, and I think I want to do the red this time. Yeah. So, I'm going to take my score tape again, and I'm going to do it just like I did before. Just going to put it right here. Same side, or other side, same place, in the middle. Kind of burnish that a bit. Remove the tape backing off of those. And just going to stick this down here. Kind of guess as to my length. That looks good. Again, whoops, let's not put it the wrong way. I'm going to put this right here. And here we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my mats down as soon as I get this out of the way. So this one goes first. Super easy. If you're a beginner, I hope that you try this album. It's really not too difficult to put it together. And it gives you several different styles to work with for the pages, page styles. Okay. Now our other side. Oops, scissors are in the way. I just love these little scenes. They are so cute. So now we're going to, so it opens up that way, and we're going to tie it up. I'm just going to snip it off. Take a guess. It's probably a little bit longer than it needs to be. We'll see. But really cute. My bow's kind of crazy there. There. Probably cut that off some more. But really cute. So now, so this is going to be the back of this page. So what I was thinking for the front, that's it for page 5. So let me show you what I got going on for page 6. I'm doing another corner pocket on the inside, so we've already done that. We know how to do it. But for the flat part, this is for the back, I'm going to put this so that what you see in the book is this is the back of page 5 and this is the front of page 6, so you kind of get this nice scenery of these two girls riding their bike. So I'm going to go ahead and add this one to this flap. And we are almost done, guys. Almost about to hit the 2-hour mark. I think we're probably going to end up at about 2.5 hours, which isn't too bad. So I just think that is so cute. You get both those little sceneries going on there. So I can put that to the side. Just wanted to show you how that was going to look. What my thinking was there. This is going to open up and we're going to do our corner pockets. So again, I'm going to take my ruler and my pencil and I'm going to draw my line right there down the middle. And I'm going to cut this square in half. Now, this again is 5 by 5, I believe. Yes, 5 by 5. And then you're going to score on all 4 sides at 1/2 inch. And now we're going to cut it in the middle. I draw a line because I can't cut straight. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to miter where the score lines meet on each one. And then we're going to fold our flaps in, and we're going to cut our wings off. Here's the other one. Fold our flaps in, cut our wings off again. And let's see, flip it all around. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue this part down first. So if you don't remember, watch it first. I'm going to glue this all the way lined up at the bottom and left edge. Now I'm going to do the same thing, add glue to just this flap. And I just did that wrong. So ignore that. You're going to add glue to just this flap. So I'm going to pull this flap up so it doesn't glue down yet, since I made a mistake. So only partially listen to me. There we go. So now I'm going to open it up and fold this in. I'm making a mess. I'm going to add glue to this flap and just give this one a touch up. Now I'm going to bring these in again and fit them into each other and glue them down. Okay, now we have our front done. So on the inside of this one, I chose to go with the plain paper. So I'm going to do, this time I'm going to do the inside of the pocket first. See if I can get this in here. See, it's hard to get it in there with it. You got glue, but it's working just fine. There we go. You got to work fast with that. You can feel it sticking as I slide it in. Which I think is just difficult because it's the corner pockets. They're a little bit different. You can't exactly just lift those up and slide the paper in. Think I got enough glue? I like glue. Okay, I'm going to stick this one down. Okay. And I already made the photo mat. This is one of the 9, so this is going to go in here. And then the mats for this, again, you're going to cut it at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 and cut it in half, just like you did for the pocket. And it will mat these sides perfectly. Do this one now. We're on to the back of the page 6, and then it's almost time to add our pages. There we go. So that's going to fold down, and we're going to flip this over. And now on the back of page 6, I did something kind of similar to what we did with our tag pocket page. So these are my mats. We're going to have 2 more pockets again, but we're going to have an additional flap this time. So this, let me double check, yes. What we're going to do first is we're going to cut a piece at 4.5 by 7 inches. You're going to score on the 4.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And we're going to go ahead and attach this to the bottom of the base page. Very bottom here. I'm going to open this up and just burnish where the glue is. Get that nice and stuck down. Got little glue pieces. Okay, now I'm going to add my pockets to this page. Or do I want to add the flap next? Yeah, let's go ahead and add the other flap. So we're going to attach this flap to this page, and it's going to flip down. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, so this flap, be nice if I told you what size it was, right? Is 4 by 7 inches. And you score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch. There we go. We're going to attach that again right at the edge of the bottom. And we will have some magnets on this page to hold these flaps down. First time I've used magnets so far. Then you're going to cut 2 pockets, and the pockets are going to go on the first flap that we put down, the one that's attached to the base page. You're going to cut these at 4.5 by 4.5 inches. You're going to score on all 3 sides at 1/2 inch. And then again, I used my envelope punch board and just punched a little notch there in the middle. I'm going to miter my corners here. I'm going to do that to both of these. And I'm going to fold on all of my lines, my score lines, burnish, and then I'm going to add my glue. And I'm going to attach it right there at that bottom score line, but I'm not going to go over it for that flap, and right at the edge of this one. So it should line up just perfectly. And we're going to do the same for the other one. And we're going to attach this one right lined up next to the other one. And again, don't go over the score line, and it should line up just perfectly. So you have these cute tag pockets. I like adding these pockets to all my albums because it gives you a space for smaller photos or a space for journaling. So I'm going to go ahead and put my design paper here. Pattern paper, whatever you want to call it. Oops. And then I think I'm also going to attach, let's see, I already did, again, I did the 2 photo mats that go in the pockets, and these are 3 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inch again, and I just matted with the cut aparts from the collection. I'm going to go ahead and stick these in my pockets so that way you can see better just how I'm matting. And I'm going to go ahead and mat this bottom flap here because, well, I need a magnet there, so I'm going to do magnets next. Never mind. So, where's my magnets? I put them to the side. Here they are. Of course, they're attached to something. So, I am going to be using 4 So I'm going to do this one first. I think I'm going to put it like right around in here so I don't get it right in this middle space there. And I'll probably attach it down here at the bottom first. So this is how I do my magnets. I just add a little bit of score tape. And that looks like a good place to me. All I want to do is make sure it goes right there in that pocket. So I'm kind of guessing. And then I'm going to put score tape over it. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't go, to the edge of where I'm going to mat. So where's the end of my score tape? I lost it. So I'm going to attach this there. Put another little piece of score tape over it. Attach some tape there, put my flap down, press it down, and that's where my magnet's going to be. And I'm just going to put another piece of score tape over that one so it stays, and now I can mat this side. And I'm going to mat this side with the other part of that paper I just used. This goes here. And we're on the home stretch, guys. Can't wait to see this album fully put together. Oops. Be nice if I moved my score tape. I'm just going to stick this down here. Burnish really well where I've got that tape. And now I'm going to mat my pockets. So I use this really cute, I like these little ads, so I used them for the pockets. Okay. Put this down here. Oops. Now you can tell I didn't line up my punch board just right on this one, so I have a little bit more black space on that side than I would like, but that's what happens when you eyeball things. Doesn't always get perfect. But I thought it was cute here that this says, you can see where it says November 17th, 1962. Pretty cool. So I'm going to remove this. Thought that was really cute. I'm going to stick this here. There we go. There's our magnet for that one. Now I'm going to lift this one up. And here it doesn't really matter where we put it. I'm just going to stick it right here. Whoops, it wants to go directly where the other one is. Hey, that's okay. We'll just do that. I should have put tape at the bottom of that one. I forgot. Oh well. It will stay because it's going to have glue on top of it anyway. So now I have all 4 magnets in the same place, which is going to add a little bulk, but that's okay. Not worried about it. Now, I'm going to mat this one first. Almost our last matting. Yay! And I'm just getting crazy with the glue. One more. And we get to move on. So I think what we'll do next is go ahead and attach our pages to the album. Okay, now that's done. There's our last page. Yay. So I think I'm done with the glue for now, so I'm going to plug it back in. Oh, and I want to show you, here are my other photo mats. And I did put tabs on mine. I just used a label die and cut it in half, and I put tabs. So there's my 3, and I only did the paper on one side because I wasn't sure how bulky it was going to make the book if I did it on both, so I wanted to get the book together, and then I might do the other side as well. I like it when both sides are together, or matted. So, and again, the photo mats are in your cutting guide, and they are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So, we're going to take our book, and I did remember that I forgot to miter my little corners here. I always like to do that. So let me get my smaller set of scissors, and I'm just going to take and snip off. This is not going to be easy because it's already in the book. Just at the corner. See? Can you see there? I'm just going to snip that off because the pages go on so much easier when that's gone. And I'm going to do that to all of these corners real quick. I'm going to see my little papers flying. You don't have to snip off a lot, just a little bit off the corner. And for me, it's just so much easier to get those pages on. I did make a mistake in my prototype that I got the pages too close to the hinge. So we're going to work on that. Little pieces of paper everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to start with the last page first because that's what I do. And I'm going to remove Actually, I'm going to test this first. So you got to find your pocket. And this page is a little thick, so you kind of got to get in there and find it and stick. And then my flaps are sticking out too, so I'm going to actually probably put this on here. And then I'm going to remove my tape backing because I think that's going to make it somewhat easier since this page is kind of thick. And that way I won't go over my hinge like I did on my last album. So there, that side's stuck down. Let's open these up. Oh, I forgot that doesn't open. Huh. Can't even remember what I do to my own albums. And now I'm going to remove the tape off of this side. So I know y'all can't see very well. I'm just getting my little craft knife in there and removing this tape off that hinge. And I'm going to burnish this. So there's my first page. So I think that's going to be good. See, this did that. I did get it too close. It did that to this one too, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do, I'm going to round this corner off so that doesn't catch at the back here. So I'm going to do the same thing to the next page, making sure I get it open on the right end here. And these are a little bit tight. Stick that down. Make sure I got it the right side. I'm going to remove this tape. Uh-oh. Came off. That's okay. Goes right back on. Keeping it away from the edge. And this is hard for you guys to see, so I apologize for that. It's hard to show it too. I'm trying to get this tape off. I get it all? I think I got a piece left in there. There we go. So can you see there? It's not all the way at that edge. That's what you want. So that way it's going to close properly and not catch. It's perfect. So it's easier, I think, if I open this up and put it on. So here we go. Stay on there. It always wants to come off. And it did. Let's try this again. Now that I already have the tape off, let's open this up. You can do it. Okay, here we go. Stick it down. Flip it over. I'm going to remove this tape. All right, 3 pages down, 3 to go. It's going pretty fast, I think. It's hard sometimes to find that middle when you have so many flaps. See, I had my hand in the wrong one. Make sure you get the right flap. You definitely don't want to glue the wrong flap down. I'm going to open that. There we go. Now stay on there. Whoops. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I think for my other album, I just got it right up against that score line, so it like creaks every time you open it. Drives me nuts. I hate that sound. I'm debating on whether or not it's such a cute album. The papers turned out so cute on it that I'm debating on whether or not just to take all the pages off and redo it. There we go. Now, 2 more. Then we get to do the fun decorating on, I'm going to open this up. I do have something I'm doing on the front and back covers that I want to show you guys. There it is. Keep losing my craft knife. I could not craft without this little knife. I use it every day. Glue that one down. I'm so excited to be able to flip through this for the first time since I've done all of the matting. I had no idea how it was going to turn out. I hope it turned out cute. So here's this one. That one went on really easy. I keep forgetting that those pockets don't flip. Last one, guys, home stretch. All right. Ugh, for a minute there, my heart stopped because I thought that I put that one on upside down. Okay, no, I didn't. It's like, oh my gosh. Okay, let's take a quick peek. Here we go. First page with our mat. Second page, our belly band. Cute, cute. I just love that. And then our booklet. I'm not going to untie that bow yet. Then there's this page. Cute. Pocket. Tags. Or what I call them tag pockets. And then this one flips up. Then we have our gatefold with our cute scenery kind of spread. And then that definitely needs something up there. And then we have our flaps. Very cute. Very happy with how it turned out. Let's go ahead and do the back cover pocket since we're here. Oh, hold on. Let me put my photo mats in because I've already got them here, so I might as well just do them, stick them in. So let's stick this here. It's one less thing on my table. Make sure I'm sticking them in the right pocket. They aren't too tight like I thought that they might be. So you probably could mat both sides, but I probably won't. Because I like to give, you know, room for the photos too. Now this one is the one that's always tricky. The pocket for the photo mat is a little bit harder to find on that one. Oops. Oh yeah, no, that's right. So how cute is that with those little tabs? So you may want to consider doing some sort of like divider tabs, because I think that looks cute. So let's go ahead and do this because I have it sitting right here. All I'm going to do right here is just a simple pocket, and I cut this at 8.5 inches by 3 inches. I scored on the 3-inch side at 1/2 inch and on the 8.5 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and I mitered my corners already. So this one should be really quick. Oops. And just going to glue this down. Right here. And I'm going to line it up right there at the edge. Very edge of the right side and the bottom. I'm going to burnish my glue there. I'm going to add my little orange matting. Oops. You know what I just thought about? I don't want to add this yet because I have that lace trim that I was going to do around the edges, but now it's too late for this side. So that's okay. Let's do the front covers so that I don't make another mistake. Where did I put my covers? Okay, so like I said before, I am using this, and I am just going to wrap this around here as evenly as possible, just like that. And I'm going to use my score tape for this. And just kind of move this out of the way a little bit. And I'll probably put some glue on it as well, but I'm just going to put my score tape all on the edges, and I can probably use, where'd my little square thingy go? There we go. I'm going to put score tape all on the edges, and I'm going to use my leftover of my sheets of score tape and cover as much of this as I can. And let's see what I have left, so I'm going to stick it on there. My random pieces of score tape. And I think that is all she wrote of this. I've used it all. And then I'm just going to fill in the gaps with a little bit here and there. So it looks crazy, I know. But I've got most of it covered, so I'm not worried about it. Good enough for me. So I'm going to burnish this as good as I can, given that it's such crinkly paper. And this should be interesting to get this on here lined up straight, because I don't normally, oh, let me tell you, did I tell you what this piece is? I don't know if I wrote this down. This is 8, a little over 8, and almost 8.5 by 5 1/4. So I don't think that measurement I wrote down anywhere. Excuse me, I just forgot. This paper is really weird because it's crinkly, but I like it. Sorry, I have to sit through all of my tape removal. But we're almost there. So, like I said, I'm just going to guess here. So, I'm going to kind of lay, I don't want to bend my tabs since I already put them in, but I'm just going to guess. And I'm going to stand up. And that looks good. So I'm going to stick it down. Yeah, good enough for me. I'm going to burnish it. And cute. Oh, it feels good to stand up. Okay, now I'm going to use this cute little guy right here. And I am going to use score tape again for him. And I should have already put the score tape on here, but I didn't think about it. Actually, I thought I was going to have to mat this a little more. And just a second, I'll give you the measurements for this. Pretty sure it's 5 1/4 as well, but I don't remember the length. I think it's 7 something, I'm not sure. So, just going to stick a few pieces in the middle. I don't think we need to have full coverage on this. Just mostly covered. And I have used glue all over the front of this, so I don't want to add glue to the back of it too. So what I was going to do is take this and then wrap this around the sides like that. I think I'm going to still do that. I want to do that on the back too, but now I've messed that up since I put my pocket on. Now my tape doesn't want to come off because I didn't burnish it very well. Or at all, did I? I forgot. It's okay. We'll figure it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you burnish your tape. Lessons learned the hard way. So, I'm going to take this. I'm going to line it up as much as possible with that bottom brown so it doesn't overlap. And I'm going to stick it down. So this lace right here is this. And you can get this, look how pretty that is, in Tamara's shop at countrycraftcreations.com. And it's beautiful lace. I don't work with lace very often, but it's very soft, it's flat, it lays flat, it glues down perfectly. It's just perfect. I love it. Okay, now I'm not going to do this on camera, but I am, when I'm done, going to add these little metal pieces right there. But I'm not going to do that right now. Right now, I'm going to figure out how I can fix my mistake on the back. Since let's see, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this here and wrap this around, which I can wrap it around the top and glue it down, just not the bottom, unless I put, nope, that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adhere it to the bottom of the card. So it'll just be my little boo-boo. I'm going to cut it off some. But that's okay. Will still look great. And I am going to make it come over the top since I can. I'm just adding score tape to this now. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it down. And then after I do this, we're going to work on the front and back cover. And then we'll be able to call it quits, and we'll have a beautiful album. Oops. Okay, I am going to burnish my tape this time because I remembered. Doesn't want to come off my lace. It's attached to my lace. There we go. All right, now we're going to take this, oops, don't get carried away there, and attach it here, lining it up with our brown and giving us a little border. There we go. So it doesn't look terrible that it's not going to go over down here. It's okay. Look how pretty that is. So let's do, I'm going to do score tape, or do I want to glue it? No, I'm going to do score tape. I have too much junk on my desk. I want this to lay flat. It's got flowers on the other side, so it's not going to lay very flat. I'm just going to wrap this around the edge here. And we're going to cover it up. It's going to be a little bulky right there because of the lace, but I think it will be all right. We shall see. Believe it or not, this is, like I said, the first time I really used lace, so I'm new to this part. But I think it's just beautiful. While we're here, let's go ahead and do this part. So then we can finish the back cover there. So I probably didn't have to go around, but I just liked the way it looked, so I could have left it. So now I cut this, and it's going to go right there. So let's go ahead and put that on because I'm done wrapping things around. And that is going to be a little bulky in that corner. I may have to put some score tape down on the edge of that, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Just going to let it dry that way. Isn't that so cute? I just love it. I'm also going to do, actually I better do the front cover next, so that way. What I did on the front, I have all these mats. So I'm going to have this here, and it's going to lift up like this. So you're going to have another trifold right here. So the base is cut at 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And then for this part, I actually put this together off camera, not thinking about it, so sorry about that. You're going to cut one piece at 10 by 7 1/4. That's this piece right here. And you're going to score it on the, wait, where'd it go? And score at 5 1/4 right here. This is our fold, and 1/2 inch, and that's the flap that's going to attach this piece. Now this piece is a little shorter because it's going to fold in, so you're going to cut that at 4 1/2 inches by 7 inches and attach it to this hinge right here, and then I attach the whole thing to this little base page, and this is going to attach here. So I think since my lace is right there at the edge, I am going to put a bit of score tape right there to hold that down, since we saw how bulky that was on the other side. And now I've learned my lesson. Next time I'm going to wrap it around the cardstock and not around the album, I believe. So, and then I'm going to take and just glue down the rest. Oops. I'm going to attach this here. So that part's got the score tape, and it's going to hold it down nice. And I'm going to hold down this side that's right up against the lace edge. Just get that glue to stick nice. And you know what? I am going to use 2 more magnets. That should stay. Okay, so on this front flap, what I did is I put some of the lace on this card, and I matted these cut aparts with the red, and then did a cut apart down here, and that is going to go right there. So, oh, I already put score tape on this because I had already used lots of glue on this, so it was getting kind of stiff. So I'm just going to do the tape here. So I made the back cover just the pocket so that it, because I knew the front cover was going to be a little bulky with this trifold. line that up, stick it down really well. And I think that turned out cute. So I don't need that anymore. Where's my magnets? I'm going to put one. Let's see, where do I want these? Oops. I'm going to put it, it'll be right here in the middle. That sounds good. And, whoops, there's my other one. Just going to stick that down, put my tape over it, and let's see, what did I do here? This little piece is going to go here, so let's do that. And I want my sunflowers to go. I want them to go this way. Alrighty, now this is going to go here. One of these. This goes here. And then I had to piece this one together because I ran out of this pattern. It's going to go up there. So let's do the middle one first. And then I'm going to do the bottom one. I need to remove that tape. Kind of hard to burnish this one since it doesn't sit flat on the table. Okay, this one's going to be the same way. So this one I'm going to put down here at the bottom. And then I'm just going to put the brown one at the top. My glue is tired. It says no more. Oof. See, this is what happens when you don't put the pin in it. It gets clogged. My stuff's going to dry before I get glue on there. Oh, darn. Always be prepared for another glue. Okay, there we go. Just going to layer that on the top. I would have liked to have had one continuous piece because of the length of these three together, I couldn't do that because I was out of paper. But it still looks nice, I think. What do you guys think? Let me know if you like the album. There's that. You can tell because I have so much glue on here, this is kind of popping up a little, so I'm going to have to make sure that folds in correctly and sits down like that. But there is my album. I think it turned out really cute. There's the side. I am going to put a little, where is it? Where's my crocodile? Seam binding on the edge and a charm. Where's my charm? Here's my charm. Just going to use black one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in the middle of my book, and my little dill's not set the right setting. Of course, because I'm trying to hurry. Sorry, I just set my crocodile. I'm going to punch right here as far as I can go down in the middle of my book. Oops, it'd be nice if I had the whole punch side in. And it is thick, so got to get it down in there. And I'm going to set an eyelet right here. So I got that punched. I'm going to stick my eyelet in. And I'm going to set it. Did I get the right thing in? Yeah. Yep, so there's my eyelet right there. I set it right there. You see that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so I spritzed my seam binding with water, or actually I just dunked it in the sink. And let me put these up real quick before they get any more dried out than they already are. So I'm going to take my little thing here, and if I can do this quickly, I'm going to try to do it on camera. I'm going to put this over the top. So I just threaded it through that hole, and I'm just going to tie it. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my little charm. So this is a charm from Tamara's Shop, Country Craft Creations. And then this is a little sticker that I just mounted on some chipboard and put on this ring. So then I'm going to thread this through here, and I'm going to tie it in a knot on there. So can you see that? So there's my little charm hanging down, and then I'm not done yet. I'm going to take my seam binding, the rest of it, these colors, and I'm just going to wrap it around my hand, nothing fancy, and probably should, here. Oops, sorry guys, there's my phone ringing. Take this in the middle, And then I'm just going to tie this on here. Just like that. Here we go. There. And then I'm going to tie it in a knot. One last time. And do my knot. And there is my seam binding. I'm going to trim that off some, but there you go. There's my spine. I'm going to trim this off so it doesn't hang down quite so much. And there you go. So there you go. I am going to get off camera now and finish embellishing this, and then I will do a final review. So there you go, everybody. There's my tutorial for my Carta Autumn paper. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.